I was sent a video. It was actually by iPower Electrics. He sent me a video this morning. And I'm not going to name who the individual is. He's a very well-known individual. He's an influencer. And subhanAllah, it made me realize what a serious responsibility and how dangerous influencers can be. And I include myself in that discussion. Now, my following on Instagram is not big enough to be considered even a micro-influencer. Excuse me. But I once had a big following on TikTok before it got banned, 80,000 or thereabouts. And that's why many of you are watching me now. You came from TikTok. And I realized how much power influencers have on influencing you. And I include myself in that discussion because I put myself out there all the time. I give you my opinions all the time. And this is dangerous. This is dangerous. And I'll tell you why. And I'm going to advise you. And my advice to you is this. Whether it relates to myself specifically, be very careful what you take from me. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why you should be cautious when you take something that you have heard or learned from me. I'll give you a couple of good reasons. Most of my topics nowadays revolve around relationships, right? Male dynamics, female dynamics, intergender dynamics together. That's what most of my lives are about these days. And I am telling you to be careful about what you take from me. And I will tell you why. Firstly and foremostly, I am well spoken. I understand the art of negotiation, the art of debates. I, no cap, intentionally set up traps for my opponents to fall into. I give them options that I know, whether they go left or right, I will bore them with my horns, regardless of which way they turn. They're finished. I understand the art of negotiation. Now, this doesn't make me wrong. I still believe that what I'm talking about is right. My point to you is that I set up arguments in a way that I know my adversary is falling into a trap, whether they go left or right. Period. Because I understand the art of negotiation. Now, you might hear me and think, oh wow, yeah, you hear these debates and you think, yeah, Mahdi's making so much sense. That makes so much sense. Be careful. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Today, I don't feel like I'm wrong on most of the things I've spoken about, but the truth is, I may be wrong. You need to know this. I make mistakes. I don't have all the answers. And I might be misleading you. Imagine, I am telling you this. I might be misleading you. So what's the solution here? The solution is this. Whenever I want to learn about a topic, let's say it's a debate of some sort, a topic, a debate, a particular discussion that I want to enlighten myself on, as soon as I have taken a stance, I've taken a viewpoint, immediately I will seek out content that counters my viewpoint, that is in direct contradiction with what I believe in. It directly contradicts it. Why? Why do I do that? I'll tell you why. If I continue to consume more content that simply tells me, yes, Mahdi, the way you think and feel is correct, what's that doing for me? How's that further enhancing my understanding of the topic? It's not. I'm in an echo chamber hearing the same thing over and over. But when you hear the opposite argument, a couple of things get to happen. Couple of things happen. Number one, you are exposed to a different reality that you weren't aware of that may well contradict what you currently believe in, and now you need to reassess your stance. That's the first thing that happens. Or number two, which is what I love the most, is that I am consolidated in my belief. I realize that what I believe in is correct, and whatever the discussion point is. But now I understand how the enemy thinks, and I know exactly where and how to trap them the next time I get into a discussion with them, to expose their falsehood, right? So I implore you to take my content, you who watches my videos, you who are on this live, who's on this live regularly, and I salute you and I appreciate it. Thank you. But I implore you to do the same thing. you might hear something that I'm saying and it makes perfect sense to you. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, man, that makes perfect sense. But let me tell you something. You might be inherently biased. You might be carrying some pain or some hurt or some bias that already leans you towards my viewpoint in the first place. Which means now I have brainwashed you. I've brainwashed you with my opinion. And that's all it is at the end of the day. It's an opinion. So what do you need to do? Your responsibility is this. You need to take what I've said and then seek out content online that is in direct opposition to what I'm telling you. This is how you can be certain that you will be comfortable and confident in this new belief that you have taken on board. Excuse me. And I'll give you a quote from one of John C. Maxwell's books. He has many books on leadership. But one of the best books I've ever read on leadership, if not the best book. No, I'm going to say it's the best book I've read on leadership. It's called Leadership Gold. It's in the lounge. I'm in the kitchen right now. I don't have it. But it's called Leadership Gold. 60 years, he promised himself to not write this particular book on leadership until he reached the age of 60. So a lifetime of wisdom, of leading and the lessons he's learned. And one thing he said in there, really, really profound. And I really want you to deep this, what I'm about to give you here. Because this is true gold. True leadership gold. He said this. He who starts with certainties ends with doubts. And he who starts with doubts ends with certainties. What does that mean? What that means is this. He who goes into this topic, this discussion, this new area that he wants to find out information about with a bias towards a particular argument, he's starting this discovery with a certainty that he believes that what it is he's about to look into, he has an opinion and he believes that opinion is correct. It's the one, 100%. 100%. But then what happens here is he closes his mind off to the other point of view and potentially miss some very important pieces of information. And then once he gets into a dialogue, into a debate, into a discussion, those areas that he's missed out, they will come out, they will show in him. People will pick out holes in his knowledge. And now he concludes his journey with doubts. He started his journey with certainties. Now he concludes his journey with doubts. So I say to you this. You may have heard something from me and it may have resonated deeply with you. And you may think that I make a lot of sense, but I am warning you, be careful. I know that I'm silver-tongued. I know that I am well versed in the art of negotiation. I know how to trap you. I do. So be careful. You who listens to me, who takes on board my videos, be careful. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I am, I want someone to bring this to me and to show me. I do. That's why I have these debates and these discussions. But I'm saying to you, the viewer who watches my lives regularly, be careful because Mahdi might be brainwashing you. And the only way you can protect yourself from this is by taking what you've heard from me and then seeking out the polar opposite argument online, typically on YouTube or wherever. And that is how you will sharpen your understanding of whatever discussion point you want to find out more on. How do you sharpen a knife? Well, you take the knife sharpener and then you take the knife and you apply force from both directions. Both opposing directions. That's how you sharpen it. If there was no force being applied here, it would be impossible to sharpen the knife. It would just fall over. So you need to apply force here and force there. That's how you sharpen a knife. That's how you sharpen your understanding. So I'm saying this not because I'm telling you to stop listening to my content, or worse still, not because I'm trying to put a front of how humble and how much humility I have. No, I'm saying this because when I watched this video this morning that iPower Electric sent me, it really hit home for me how much power influencers have, particularly well-known influencers. They have a ton of power. And especially if they're well-versed, if they know how to speak, if they're good at speaking, you're in big trouble. you're in big trouble, because you could be listening to someone like me who knows how to speak, who's silver-tongued, who knows how to trap people in negotiation and in debates, and then you think, yeah, Mahdi's right, he's on point. Be careful. I still might be wrong. And that's all I want you to know, is take this information you hear, and then take this information that you hear from me, and then go out of your way to find the opposite view. Then, and only then, can you be certain in your opinion in this new belief system that you've adopted. Only then. Remember this golden rule. If you remember nothing from this live right now, just remember this. He who starts with certainties will end with doubts, will conclude his journey with doubts. But he who starts with doubts will conclude with certainty. Because the one who begins his journey of trying to comprehend this new topic with doubts, he's uncertain, he's leaning this way or that, he will gather information from both sources and develop this extremely comprehensive picture of the discussion. Then you will end with certainties. That's my advice to you.